everybody. Do you hear me? Yes. My name is Lis K Andersen, and I work in the same department as Margrethe and Lars, who talked yesterday. And our department are supposed to implement teacher training for high quality courses for teachers teaching adults in basic skills. So I will take you through a brief overview of non-formal education, also called further education, I think, and formal education, CPD, or continuous professional education. But first, in Norway, there are no official requirements for adult teachers to have teacher training themselves or to have qualifications in adult education. But the law says that they ought to have experience with adults' learning situations, but not necessarily formal pedagogical education, which is a requirement to teach children and young people in Norway, of course. Then you have to have this pedagogical education, but not for adults. But in practice, most adult teachers have traditional teacher education, which prepare you for teaching children. They work in the regular school system. But as we know, to teach children is another thing than to teach or to train adults. So does this mean that anyone can teach adults in basic skills? Does this mean that people with no pedagogical education are supposed to train adults in basic skills in Norway? And does this mean that those who are prepared to teach children can train adults in basic skills? Well, Vox is working for the answer to be no. And it may be different opinions of this question here, and also different practice in different countries. But perhaps we can discuss this more some of the other days. For instance, 10 years ago, we picked teachers, immigrant teachers from the street or from the primary school. So if you could speak Norwegian, you were supposed to be able to teach immigrants in Norwegian. But the authorities don't think like that nowadays. We have quite another system today. And I think Kari will speak a little bit more tomorrow about the immigrant system. No?
Somewhat, yeah.
Similar. So we also have a cooperation, Vox have a cooperation with the authorities, with the ministry, when it comes to the basic skills system today. So a lot have changed, but we are not quite satisfied with everything, of course. I also want to pose another question. Do we need knowledge in adult learning? Or to put it another way, why do we need knowledge in adult learning? It's a lot of answers to this question. But here's some reflections. Because of rapid social changes, increased immigration, increased restructuring in work life, the need for knowledge of adult learning skills will increase in the future. There will be more learning pressure, and more teachers will be involved in adult education, sure. And this is an issue the authorities in Norway also are aware of. So, to make it short, to understand the relationship between life situation of an adult and the learning situation is important. And also to use the opportunities offered by new technology. So yes, we need knowledge in adult learning. And you can fill in with more arguments afterwards and the other days. The non-formal training has been implemented since 2007, and it is given through annual series of one-day seminars. One-day seminars for teachers and trainers, and it has been a lot of them here at Vox. They usually come here. And the courses are free of charge. We have courses in literacy, how to teach adults in literacy, in everyday mathematics, in digital competence, and also in oral communication. We also have a mix, how to teach a mix of them, a mix of basic skills. And our experiences are that the teachers think this is useful. They get new ideas, they get input, and they can share experiences with other teachers with the same target group. But since 2013, Vox have implemented seminars in every county in Norway, all over the Norway. Not only here, but all over, as a system. And that is because of grants from authorities. So, as you can see here, the ministry has granted 20 million Norwegian kroner, and it's about 160 million euro during 4 years to educate teachers to train adults in basic skills. Yeah.
That number is wrong. 160 million euro.
Million.
16. 16 million.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just to be.
Okay. Thank you.
We're not that rich.
But it's 40. It's 40 euro during 40 million euro during each year. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So we have as an amount for each year for 4 years from now.
4 million.
4 years from now. Yes, 16. It's too much. Okay, the subjects are adult education in general, and how to teach basic skills for adults. Yes, I just I want to say also that every political party in Norway, they agree that it's important to educate the teachers, the adult teachers, from the very left to the very, very right. So everybody agree. And they also think it's important that adults who need it must be trained in basic skills. So in fact that's in the legislation. But in practice it's not always that, like that. But everybody agrees that it is important. And therefore, of course, it's also important that the teachers have a relevant background for this social mission. They have to be prepared. And in 2010, the number of seminar participants were approximately 780 here at Vox during a year. But now, in 2013, it has increased because we also travel around in Norway, in all the counties. So it will be, I think, approximately 1,500, 1,600 during the year. And there also is an increasing interest for these seminars. So now we plan also to have such courses for teachers working not only with adults at the ground level, the primary level, but also at the secondary school when it comes to basic skills. My department, the Basic Skills Department, also produce learning resources to support these seminars. Here are some examples. Tools for mapping and certification, as you can see in mathematics, in literacy, reading and writing, and digital competence. And also literacy profiles and portfolios. And we also have internet-based models. And everything is for free. It's at Vox homepage at internet. And I guess that Margrethe mentioned some of these things yesterday, perhaps the profiles. I think so. Okay, this is the non-formal courses and learning resources, but we also have formal teacher training in Norway. Not very much, but a little bit. It's a formal training program for teachers who teach basic skills to adults. And Vox has initiated this kind of continuing professional development, and it is given in cooperation with 2 Norwegian universities. One in the east part and one in the southwest part of Norway. And the content is based on the description of competence levels that Margrethe told you about yesterday, the framework. The framework that we use in Norway. So this formal training has existed since 2009 with money from the authorities, and the curriculum is developed in close cooperation with pedagogical experts from teacher training institutions. And as you can see, it gives 30 ECTs as a credit. It is a part-time study. It goes through 1 year, and it is a combination of classroom activities, web-based training, and teaching practice. They use their own jobs to practice, to try out, to experiment. So most of them are, as you see, teachers. They have a job beside, and therefore it's also very important that it is a part-time study. So they meet at campus to gatherings, 4 years, 4 times a year in the east part and 6 times a year in the southwest part. It's organized a bit different, but it's quite similar anyway. It's also like that you have to choose one of the 2 basic skills for the study. Literacy, reading and writing, is in the southwest part in Stavanger, the University of Stavanger, and digital competence is in, we call it Vestfold. It's a very small town called Horten. It's a university there. And the students also have to study adult learning as a part of it. It's an integrated part in the study. It's supposed to be involved in the methods. Until now, during these years, approximately 90 students have participated at this CPD. We also offered everyday mathematics the 2 first years, but not anymore. And the reason is lack of students. I don't know why, but perhaps it's because there are fewer teachers in mathematics than in the language subjects. But ICT has been easy to recruit participants. And most of the teachers, of the students, they apply, there are applicants with already formal teacher education, especially these applicants. But in digital competence, we have a lot of students who not have this teacher education. And we are very happy to have them to this study. They can apply based on validation of prior learning, you know? Yes. They don't have to have this formal education, but they have a lot of experience dealing with adults. So this is a model for this formal training. 10 ECTs with adult learning, and the rest 20 is the subject, either ICT or literacy. And as you can see, we also have this immigrant perspective at the whole study. Immigrants may also need to strengthen their basic skills, of course. So therefore, this is a part of the formal teacher training as well, this view. And as I said, the study is based on the framework for basic skills for adults as an important tool in this study. Yes, what kind of pedagogical issues related to adult learning may be included in a continuing education for adult teachers in basic skills? What is the core content? What is the core content supposed to be? This is a very difficult question, of course. In Norway, we have chosen to include these things when it comes to adult education in general, these 10 ECTs. So they have to deal with these questions. How do adults learn compared to children, compared to youth? What is the difference? Is there a difference? It's reasonable to compare it to children. And what is typical for adults in learning situations? How do adults want their learning situations to be? And what do they appreciate? What's typical for the adult in a learning situation? What motivates adults to learn? For example, to use the things they learn as quick as possible. That's motivating. And we also learn in different arenas. So we talk a lot about formal, non-formal and informal learning. To be conscious that it is many ways of learning. And you can learn at many places. And we also offer a special focus on the workplace. Learning at workplace. And also some focus at guidance. And of course, then it also is this didactics or methods and models in the subject, together with these things. Challenges, of course. How do we finance the study? Well, we got grant from authorities, so grants is related to this study. And the teachers can apply for a grant from Vox to pay the study, to pay the university. So they can get the whole amount from Vox. But still, there is some challenges. How to finance the travel and living costs for the students. This is an obstacle for them, for the participants. So many people can't afford. We could have had more students on this subject, on this CPD, but they can't afford. Some are lucky. The employer pays for the travel, for example, from north to the south. It's very expensive, you know, to travel in Norway. And it's also very expensive to live at a hotel or a hostel. So some students pay for themselves. And then you have another question, how to finance a replacement at work. How to finance the salary of the person who are to take over your job while you are at campus, while you are at university, and is there resources enough at your workplace, and so on. This also is an obstacle. And I know some of the students have to work double. When they comes home, they have to take it, do it, take it again. Yeah. It's not the right way to say it, but you know, they have to work double. Well, we have some good advantages, or some advantages in Norway. But as I said in the beginning, we are not satisfied with everything. Everything is not perfect, of course, so it's still a lot of job doing with this basic skills issue. And I want to end this presentation to let Confucius tell us something about learning. You know Confucius? He's a handsome man, is he? Man can learn in 3 ways. By reflection, it is the noblest. By imitation, it is the simplest. By experience, it is the bitterest. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.